Hello, good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the topics professional rights from the course Professional Ethics and Human Values. Our class session has been planned with the integration of design thinking. Initially, we will have a recap and followed by the objectives of this session. Then we will have a content of understanding with the case study. Then at the end, we will be discussing the summary and then the assessment. Let's have the icebreaker. I request you to answer to the following questions. Initially, a poll question. What rights do you think employees have at present? You can list out the various employee rights or professional rights, whatever you are aware about it. You can list out minimum 4 rights you are aware about it. You can produce a sticky note or you can create a word cloud. The purpose of this activity is to activate your existing knowledge and how you are able to engage with the employee rights and professional rights topic. The learning objectives of this particular topic is to identify the key professional and employee rights, also to analyze the ethical and legal implications of rights violations, and to apply the design thinking to propose workplace solutions. Also demonstrating the understanding through discussion and with the mini assessment. We will be learning the workplace culture through all these objectives. So the core concept of this particular topic is to understand professional rights and how it is different from the employee rights. Professional rights are the rights to develop and competent with the society of all different professions, and it is the right to freedom of ethical expression of every employee, whoever is working in various domains, and it is the right to refuse unethical task if anything is against to the employee well-being. Also, it is the right to confidentiality and the reputation of the employee. When it comes to employee rights, it's a right to fair pay and safety. It talks about the wages and payroll, and it is a right to privacy and non-discrimination, and it is the right to unionize and collective bargaining. Also, it is a right to welfare and leave. As given in the persona example on the problem statement, let us take a person employee Priya. She is a software engineer and she worked unpaid over the time, and she has a fear to about the termination if she is reporting to the higher authorities. So here the problem statement is clearly understood how the organizations can value the rights of the employees like Priya to report the professional rights courageously. So let us have the empathy initially with the design thinking stages of process. We know the employee person and how she is being affected and what is her problem. So we got the empathization, and we need to define the problem with unclear boundaries between the demands and the rights. Here the demand is the employee and the right is for the employee to the organization. And the solution is being ideated with the clear HR policies and the grievance systems, or the right trainings can be provided to the employee, or through the grievances system the employee problem can be understood. And the prototype example is to let us have a flowchart of understanding. Initially the grievance will be happening, then followed by the review of the grievance by the organization, then the action plan, and finally the feedback control. So the activity of testing is to we can have a role play activity, like one person can perform the HR and other person can have an employee, so we can find the conflict resolution through this role play. And the T-shaped model here, it is like vertical depth, the legal frameworks, labor laws, digital privacy policies, and the horizontal breadth is like links to the HRM and CSR, psychology and global standards. And the future scope is AI ethics and data privacy and fair automation policies. Here the case study, what we are going to learn is employee discovering company shares client data without any consent. So in such situation, how the employee is behaving, how the organization is responding. Here the task is to, you need to identify the rights and ethical duties and to propose a 3-step HR response through the design thinking process. So here the mind map, where it explains about the professional and employee rights, safe workplace and fair treatment and privacy, and it's also explaining the autonomy rights, fear complications and professional development, etc. And the summary is here. We came to know the difference between the professional rights and employee rights, and we, through the design thinking cycle, we know how to compliance solve the legal compliances, and finally the workplace ethics and HR practices, how to empower the employees through these kind of HR practices. We had gone through that. And let us have the assessment, reflection assessment. How can understanding your rights improve effectiveness? So you have to give a summary of understanding and followed by your observations. And another mini assessments where you need to answer the three questions: difference between the professional and employee rights, what we have discussed in the beginning, and one ethical challenge where the testing of employee rights can happen, and one policy to enhance workplace fairness. So the key takeaways, finally, the rights to individual dignity and organization ethics, awareness builds responsible professionalism, and design thinking fosters empathy and ethical problem solving. That's all. Thank you, students. Let us continue the next class.